PS Too Many Games.
Welcome back to another glorious episode of PS Too Many Games. Glorious! This week we're having 50% increase in luck. You'll see what I mean when we get into it. But this week is very much an eBay / Vinted episode. Simply put, it's been a while since I've done an eBay episode because there's nothing I really want to buy it. But inside 2 weeks, I've had 2 different eBay bundles, and new to the channel, a Vinted bundle. For those who don't know what Vinted is basically a much smaller version of eBay, but just as good. You'll find out in a sec what I mean. But pretty much, we've got a good about 16 games added to the collection today. So it's been a good week. Been a very good week. So it's been quite a while since I've had more than like 10 games per episode, like collection-wise coming in. But with today's 16...
You what?
This should be quite a bumper episode. Also very good considering how many games I've already got to get 16 in one go. So it's been a very good 2 weeks. So we will start off with the Vinted job lot first. Only a few games in this lot, but I bought it for one game. You'll see in a second which game it will be, but let's just have a look at the opening first. As you can see, this is the Vinted package. It came in basically what accounts to be, I'm going to assume like a wine box or something. And we'll just go through one by one games. Let's go through one by one, if you will. Now, a lot of these games I've already got, just to see there. Oh, styrofoam. Okay, very nice. Right. So, I've already got these games. I'll check if they're any good. I might send them back on. But Metal Gear Solid 2, Godfather, very nice. What the hell is this? Oh, nothing special. Rockstar Kings. Getaway Platinum Edition already got. Already got Colin McRae 4. Right, but these two I actually do need. Obviously, the one on the left, this is what I basically bought the whole Vinted bundle for. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2. This bundle cost me a sizzling £6, and this is probably worth £8 at any CEX these days. So basically, just picked all these games up randomly for free. But this one, I kind of forgot. I do need the platinum version of Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell. I'm hoping it's and it is actually, so that's actually a bonus in all this. I didn't realise I needed it until I actually checked it up. So I actually got 2 games out of this Vinted that I need. Pretty handy. As you see, a very small job, and some of you might have realised what game it is first, but I actually got 2 games out of that lot that I needed. Platinum version of Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell. Probably worth a couple of quid these days, but I've all got the original. But it's always nice to get the platinum versions because they're very hard to find with platinum disc, of course. So that was a nice little perk. I was very elated to get that one. But as you might have worked it out, the reason I bought that lot, I finally got the last Need for Speed game, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, a fantastic game. As mentioned in one of the last top 10s I did, very underrated. Fantastic game for like 2001. Considering this came out before Underground, this still holds up. The opening theme when you're getting introduced to the game is still a banger, if you will. And I'm going to play the hell out of this again and see how good it was. But very happy. So that whole lot cost me a sizzling £6. Bearing in mind this will cost me 6 to 8 quid in CX these days. That's a win. And all the other like games I'm going to probably throw into a bundle. Well, I'll throw into one bundle, you'll see later. So that's a nice small win. So we're 2 games in already, still doing well. Right, so this is just turned up. This is another eBay lot I've been waiting on. This wasn't planned, I literally just saw this about 3 or 4 days ago and I got it for a ridiculously cheap price. So, like always, I'm going to start unboxing it because this person is legit. Well, not this person. I bought this from a charity. This came from not a hospice. One of the charities, one of the online charities. Anyway, I'm going to take about 2 years to get into this, apparently, so I'll just cut back and we'll see what we're getting. Right, so I've gone for the first layer, right? And actually, it is actually a box within a box. That is actually quite impressive packing, so yeah. Right, so I finally broke into the layer. There's about 20 games here. This is not what I actually bought the lot for. These are just additional extras. I'll go through these and see if I need anything. What I actually bought the lot for was this. A boxed PS2. And the box actually looks in very good condition. Let me just double check, because you never know with eBay, they might con us. Actually, this is a charity. I doubt they're going to con us. And interestingly packed, wires, controller. It's in there though. Oh wow, the polystyrene is still here. The original PS2 polystyrene is still here, with some interesting packaging. So that is actually kind of impressive. Bear me a second. As you can see, it is fully boxed. Everything, including the original packaging and the original manual, is in there. Love the back of these cases, all the games that was currently out for it. They're all really good games, apart from obviously Music Generator. Right, so I literally got this box PS2 plus all these games, nothing special there. I got to go through and see if I actually need any. I might actually need that one, arcade, because I haven't seen that before. It's been a while. Maybe Lotus Challenge? Nothing super special there. A lot of this is just shovelware. So obviously I've got what, 20 games plus a fully boxed PS2 with all the original trimmings. I got all this for 40 quid. Sometimes eBay can be amazing. £40 for a fully boxed PS2. These days you can be paying 3 figures from any CX for a fully boxed PS2 in this condition. So I'm ecstatic is the word I'm going for. Ecstatic. By the way, that's some leftovers. So I'm doing some stuff in my games at the moment, so they're leftovers. Super Smash! Right, okay, we're back, guys. So basically, I've gone through the, as you can see here, I've completely emptied the eBay bundle. Well packaged like always. I bought this from Check the Disc. Very well known eBay. Literally sells things every day, like bundles every day. Like, they also like 5 PS2 bundles at least a week. But he does obviously Xbox, does all kind of Wii stuff, everything. Great bundles. I don't know if he makes money off this. It must be a business, but if I was going to recommend anyone on eBay, look for Check the Disc. Fantastic eBayer. So anyway, these are all the games that I already have. So I'm going to probably sell these back on to get a lot of my money back, as you can imagine. So actually the bundle on the left hand side there, these are the games that are basically practically worthless these days. These games you'll pay like 50 pence or less at any CEX. And obviously these are generic football games. Basically, unless people want to collect them, you don't want them. But they're in every bundle. And they can be in my bundle too. Next bundle. So these are the games that aren't worthless, but are reasonably common. And I've already gotten them. As you can see, 3 Guitar Heroes, hilariously. There's some decent games in there. FIFA Street is still a decent game to this day. Any kind of like James Bond is a decent game to this day. But then you got some random stuff like the Pinball Hall of Fame, which I already got. All the SingStar games, obviously. So that's going to be in the bundle too. The third stack, these are decent to good games that I've already got. Obviously Burnout, Dinosaur Warriors 5, Harry Potter games, Simpsons game, obviously the Sonic games, Spider-Man games. Spyro, that's probably the worst Spyro out of all of them, but it's still a decent game. TAC 2, I've actually given it a go. Obviously all the wrestling games and the Extreme Express World Grand Prix. So obviously these are decent games that go in the bundle, but by far the best games that I'll be selling on, as you can see, Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition, very good game. That's the edition that basically fixed the difficulty patch. The original game was so difficult that they had to release another version, making it easier. Obviously DPC Budokai, Manhunt, obviously Oni, Underground 2, 2 Clank games, Hit and Run. I might change the patch of Hit and Run because that's obviously seen better days. So, at least not. So these will all go on an eBay lot, and maybe the games from the Vinted lot will also go in there too. To be honest, usually I would basically want a certain amount for each bundle, but as we'll get into later in the video, I don't really care how much I get for this. So if anyone actually wants to make me a decent offer in my DMs, eBay DMs, go ahead, just don't insult me, because I'm going to want at least, let's see, at least 50 quid for the whole lot, because there's going to be more than 50 games, so it's going to be less than £1 a game, and some of these games you're going to pay at least £8 to £10 at a CEX these days, and they're all it's quite a good range, so I'm going to want at least 50 quid, so please don't insult me. I want to get at least some money back on this, but I'm probably going to add in the Vinted games too, so we'll work that out. As you'll see in a second, there's a reason why I bought this bundle, because to the right of me, which you'll find out when I move to my games room, well, my other games room, I've got two of them.
Hello, my name is Sir Humblebrag. Apologies for being late. My Tesla was acting a little strange. It's not a big deal. I have a 6.3-inch Panius.
Out of the like 80 games I've bought, there's actually 13 I actually need. You've seen 2 of them already, I believe. Let's have a look at the rest of them. So now we'll move on to the 2 eBay lots. The biggest one first. Not the best one, but the biggest one. You'll see what I mean later on. So long story short, occasionally I will buy from a well-known eBay called Check the Disc. Check the Disc is a fantastic eBay seller. He'll sell like massive bundles of old retro games, but obviously besides PS2 he'll do Xbox, Wii, like all kinds of consoles. Roughly like disc games, so anything for like PS2, Xbox, up to like modern consoles, he'll do like bundles like 45 games, 60 games. I don't know how he does it, but he seems to make quite good money on it because he's constantly doing it. And he'll sell like 4 or 5 PS2 bundles per week. I used to buy quite a lot from him, but obviously because I've got to a certain point where I'm over halfway now, I only buy bundles when it's actually beneficial. And you'll see what I mean. This one was incredibly beneficial. We'll go into it in a second, but as you'll see in the video, there's quite a few games that I don't need, which I'm going to sell on. There's about 70 games there, which I'm going to put in eBay lots. It'll either be live now, I'm going to make it live. I'm going to do a buy it now, because I'm not going to do an auction this time, because I want to see if anyone wants to buy it, like, well, literally like buy it now. As it says. We'll see if anyone actually really fancies it. We'll leave my eBay name in the video somewhere underneath. I think I've said it before. A Spanish Italian 2010. I rarely use eBay, only when selling, so kind of thing. Do not be afraid to contact me with an offer. Just do not insult me with your offer. Do not offer me anything more than half what I've got up for. If you know what I mean. Because I don't know what the value is going to be yet, but the value of what I want, do not offer me anything less than half, so I will just ignore your message. Simple as that. You gotta be fair, guys. You gotta be fair. But anyway, so long story short, that job lot, the job lot cost me 119 quid. There was about 90 games in the job lot. Why would I pay £119 for 90 games, you say? Well, there was a few games in there which would cost me significantly more in CEX. So actually, this was a financially wise move. Anyway, we're going to get through those one by one now, because this is the bulk of the games I got. Back in a second. So anyway, the first game from the big eBay bundle, I got 3 platinums out of this, which is actually quite good going. I didn't realise how shocking this is, but I didn't have the original Ratchet & Clank in platinum yet. So that was pretty good, considering you had to pay like £6 to £8 regardless of platinum or non-platinum. Always nice to get a platinum game off the list again. So that's what, 2 platinums so far? Scratch that, we'll make it 3 platinums. Rayman 3 on platinum. Another game which would cost about 4 to 6 quid these days, maybe? Fluctuating price of Rayman. Underrated franchise Rayman. Obviously the rabbits now are far more popular than Rayman than it ever has been. That's incredibly sad, to be honest, when you think about it, it's incredibly sad. But as you imagine, another platinum off the list, so I'm very happy with that. Let's get another platinum off the list, and this is a bit of a strange one, because I didn't actually have the normal version of this, but I just got the platinum. And this might sound like a very common game, but FIFA 2001, which is literally worth 50 pence, it's not as common as you think it is, and I do not own the actual normal copy. So to have the platinum version and not the normal one, it's kind of hilarious. And I kid you not, all the CEXs I've been to have not had a FIFA 2001 version. And I'm probably could find on eBay for like £1. but I don't want to pay quid for an old FIFA game that's literally practically worthless. So I've now got a game on Platinum, but not on Original, and it's a terrible FIFA game. So the ones that are off the Platinum list, I suppose, is good, but at the same time, I'm kind of baffled. So that's 4 Platinums I got out of this whole 16 games, which is still very good. We haven't hit the 100 mark on the Platinums yet, but we're getting close. We're getting close to about 25% of the way there. And as I said in many previous episodes before, Platinums are incredibly hard to find. Unlike Dan's PS1 Platinums, where he's already halfway there, but there's significantly less PS1 Platinums, so a little easier. So the next 9 games all came from the same bundle, and these are games I actually need for the normal collection. And the next 5 are relatively average, or games not looking for. The Flintstones Viva Las Vegas, or Viga Rock Vegas. Get it? It's a rock pun! I was never a fan of the Flintstones when I was a boy. Yes, it was still on television when I was a boy. That's true. Apart from all the puns, it's not that funny as a cartoon. And I am baffled that Americans in like the 60s and 70s found it like fantastic. Interesting like side trivia, it was the first program in American television that had a male and female in the same bed on television. And yes, I did say television twice, I don't care. It took a cartoon in black and white to get a male and female in bed together on television in America. That's kind of mildly hilarious. Speaking of hilarious, the next one, Kelly Slater's Pro Surfer. Now we're talking shovelware, brah! I apologise for that. Another game that I would never actually buy if I weren't collecting it. If you notice, by the way, the same like obviously the same company was making like Tony Hawk's or like Matt Hoffman's like BMX biking. So they've all got the same like logo on the front with like the same like font. So I'm assuming they're made by the same company. I've seen Activision made all these like extreme board sports games. Actually, in all seriousness, surfing is a very hard thing to do, and if you can surf really well, you're very talented. Never been my cup of tea. I never understood the concept of putting my body at risk in a large pool of water, which I could potentially drown in and die. No. Just no. From one random sport to another sport, and I suppose you can call this a kind of sport. I didn't call it a sport. World Championship Poker 2. Yes, they made a second one of these. There was a weird time between 2005 2010 where like Texas Hold'em Poker was very popular, and like they would show it after the wrestling. So you watch like WWE Raw between like 10 and 12 on a Friday night, because in the UK we didn't get it broadcast until Fridays. So we were literally 4 days behind America and everyone else, which is hilarious, by the way. But like at midnight, what would come on after the wrestling? Texas Hold'em Poker. And I tell you what, it was a fantastic thing to fall asleep to. That put me to sleep so well sometimes. I actually can play Texas Hold'em. I'm not special. I'm not very good at it, but I know the rules. I know it's like the main like card game for gambling these days. Bit tad sad. But if you like it, that's your kind of thing. Let's get on to a couple more games anyway. Another sports game, NHL 2005. Another hockey game. I did have the 2005 version. I've got it now. Now 50 pence I ain't got to waste. Awesome. You ain't got to search for that, Dave. We're not looking at every hockey game, or 10,000 hockey games. But actually one of the games I'm kind of curious by, Rune Viking Warlord. Good name to begin with. Intrigued. I will try this, especially when he's holding a massive axe in his right hand. It's his right hand, yeah. I'd never heard this before. I will try this. Kind of feels like up my avenue, if you will. Nothing else really. We're going to move on from that. So these last 4 games are the reason I bought this bundle, because these last 4 games actually make up for the value of it. I'll explain it afterwards. But the first one, so the first one of these 4 games that I really needed was I can't pronounce this. Siberia. I'm going with Siberia. this actually looks kind of intriguing, and this is the first time I saw this game actually in this bundle, so I knew it had to be reasonably rare. Not super expensive. This would cost you £18 at CEX, or $3.99 in Game Station back in the day. Yeah. So I'm assuming it's not a common game, because this has gone up in value to 18 quid, and I will give it a try. I actually don't know what it's about, but it's the complete edition as opposed to those non-complete editions, of course. Made by Explosive, or Success if you will. Yeah, I'm gonna try this because I think this is some kind of like shoot 'em like space shooter. If it is, I'm all in. I will investigate that. But that cost me 18 quid in a CX, so getting the bundle's pretty good. The next 3 games are pretty cool, especially the next one. Capcom game, Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, Oogie's Revenge, or Ooga Booga, I can't remember his name. For anyone who doesn't know what the Nightmare Before Christmas is, it's a very well like animated, not animated, like children's film that's kind of like animated and like puppety kind of thing. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's an awesome franchise. Obviously, for the mind of Tim Burton, the man who literally came up with some freaky stuff back in the 90s, including Edward Scissorhands. Also, side note, Tim Burton's deep love for Johnny Depp knows no bounds. Look at all the films he's had Johnny Depp in. There's a lot. There's a lot of films. Anyway, back to this. Any game made by Capcom is always a game worth trying. And this would cost me, I think, like 20 quid at CEX, 20 quid plus. And it's these random like children's games that cost like more than 20 quid. You need to like get in bundles, because I don't really want to pay £20 for this, but it's still a good pickup. And the only thing I'm gonna say is I'm gonna change the case, because the case has got a crack in it. I got a lot of cases, but like everything, the disc is actually in fantastic condition. I won't say like mint, but I'm going like near mint. So that's a win. So the second from last game in this big bundle is the last Avatar game I need. Avatar Into the Inferno. Side note, before we talk about the game, Avatar is one of the best Japanese animes ever made. I think it's Japanese. It looks Japanese. Yeah, it's got to be Japanese. If it's American, I'm sorry. I'm wrong, but it's an awesome anime. The 4 series, well, I think it was 4 seasons, if I'm not correct. I could be wrong. But obviously, Earth, Water, Fire, and obviously Wind. Great story, great anime. I would ask anyone to watch it, give it a time. The film version is awful. Damn you, M. Night Shyamalan. That was one of the worst films I've ever seen in my life. One of the worst films. God damn you. But the game, I'm going to give it a try. 30 quid this would cost you. So I'm assuming it's either, once again, rare, or a very good game. Made by THQ, so they must have made some good money off this. I'm very happy to get it. Very, very happy to get it. So the last game, also another Japanese anime, would cost me 32 quid in any CEX. Forgive me for what I'm about to do, but this is one of my favourite animes when I was a boy. Just like Avatar. Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions. I'm so sorry. Yes, Digimon Rumble Arena 2. This will cost you £30 to £35 at any CEX. I think it's like 32 now. I didn't have this. There are 2 Digimon games on the PS2, and they're both expensive. Digimon. So when you were young, the 3 main animes I remember from we're talking like late 90s, 2000s. Pokemon, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh! They were the 3 big hitters. You had ones that were slightly smaller like Avatar, but they were the 3 ones that hit the ground running. And it can be argued that Digimon came after Pokemon, rode that wave. Yes, that could be argued. But I believe Digimon is still going strong to this day. And the original the original Digimon series is still very good to this day. And it was teaching evolution and like digivolving. Awesome. Oh god, I'm not evolution obviously, just digivolving. So it was that weird time when you were a kid where like all the awesome programs are coming off. Obviously Dragon Ball Z came along too, but that's not really related to that at all. Late 90s, early 2000s was a very good time to be a youngster watching programs on Toonami, if you will. Cartoon Network played when I was like Toonami. Very good times. So those last 4 games combined would cost me £100 at CEX. Bearing in mind I paid for the whole bundle, I paid £119. And all the other games would cost me like £10 combined. So I've basically, well, I ain't got my money back yet, but I'm gonna make, how can I put this? So the bundle, all the other games I'm gonna sell on eBay. Whatever money I get back is gonna be a bonus. So potentially I'm gonna get all these games for what, half the money I would pay at CEX? If you know what I mean, get your money back in like, you know what I mean. Words are escaping me at this point. Basically, I'm going to get these games for significantly less than they should be. We'll go with that. So that was a good win. In all seriousness, if you want to bid on this bundle, because this eBay bundle, it's going to be up when this video comes out. It's going to be up, and there'll be a buy it now. Give me an offer, and I will consider it, because I'm going to be up wherever I do at this point. So I'm not looking for like a massive amount. I'm looking for, if I get £1 per game, I will be elated. Elated. So now on to the last bundle, another eBay bundle, and by far the best value one I got. Smaller bundle, but considering what I got, incredible value. You'll see in a second. So, in all seriousness, if I was going to give any advice about buying on eBay, look at the charity shops, if you will. For instance, like the Age UK British Publication. Obviously they've got one, but you want to look at the ones that are like one store. For instance, I bought this next bundle from the Age UK Solihull eBay shop. So it's literally just one store in Solihull who put their stuff on eBay. So give me a second, because I need to grab my stuff. I need to show what I mean. Right, so first of all these games, and you'll see in another video obviously, all these games, nothing special here. Nothing special at all. So this is like 20 games plus, right? 20 games plus this cost me 40 quid. And this is fully intact. The box, it's got mild, like very mild wear and tear. But what's more impressive about this is when I opened it up, everything's in it, including the original like polystyrene outlay for the PS2. So I basically bought a fully boxed PS2 for 40 quid on eBay in fantastic condition, and I'm going to sell the next 20 games back on. So I'm going to probably get this for significantly less. I'm going to get this for close to free, which is insane. And even on a more positive note, I actually got 2 games from that bundle I actually needed. Nothing special. Lotus Challenge. I'm sure it's cost me like 50 pence on ECX, but I didn't have it. Obviously, being from Norfolk, Lotus, kind of near and dear to our hearts in Norfolk. Underrated games. And this game would cost you like £8 in CX. Arcade Classics Volume 1 from the Play It company. They made a lot of cheap, like nasty games, but I'm sure this is pretty good. So take like £8 off that bundle, so that's like 32 quid. I'm going to sell that back on. I'm almost certain I'm going to get about 15 quid for that lot, maybe less, because I don't care at that price. I might do a buy it for that too. So, got this for an absolute steal. Absolute steal. And this is in better condition than most I see in CEX. And to put it in context, in CEX, I believe they want like 130 quid for a original boxed fat black PS2. Yes, so that is quite possibly my best eBay buy I've ever done since starting my collection 2 years ago. 40 quid for a boxed PS2 and about 20 games. And they all seem in good condition. So as you can imagine, I was ecstatic when I won that auction. And that auction only had 2 bids on it. And I tested it. It was fully tested. I tested everything. So I was like, this is too good to be true. So you can still find phenomenal deals on eBay, but you got to really search for it. And Age UK, like independent like stores, like single store Age UK, like eBay channels, that's where you need to look. Because as I said, this only had 2 bids on it, and I won it for 40 quid. So as you can imagine, this week's been fantastic. 16 games in the collection. A boxed PS2, which is going to stay there, and probably be, it's quite possibly become one of my pride and joys right now. When I finally build this shelf, it's going to be sitting there, prouder than proud as punch, next to the Aqua Blue PS2. Getting a boxed Aqua Blue PS2, by the way, is going to be a lot harder. But I do plan to get a boxed version of every UK PS2 that was released. So obviously the slim one's the yellow boxed one. The silver slim one, obviously that's in silver. The and the fat one, but it's going to take a while, but I'm going to get those two. So, yeah, it's been a good week. That's pretty much it for this week. So what's coming up? No word of light, tomorrow I will be going to Thetford, Ipswich, and Felixstowe. Probably just all CXs and independent stores. I'm going with a friend of the channel, Dan the Games Man. That's going to be a phenomenal day tomorrow. And so that's going to be at least, that's going to keep me going for at least 2 weeks. And it'll be the first CEX video done in close to a month now. And trust me, one thing I've learned from eBay, people watch CEX videos more than anything. I mean, if you just look at the videos on my channel, not my channel, on mine and Dave's channel, sorry Dave, we're a team, on our channel, anything CX related gets extremely more views than anything non-related. Like last week's D&D episode, which was not popular. I'll still do my own personal episodes because it's my channel. I'll still do the top 10, still do D&D, but apparently people come to watch CEX mostly. But never underestimate eBay, and always keep looking because the deals are out there. So I'm going to leave you with that. Have a good rest of the day. I'll see you next time, guys. And just remember, if you look for it, you'll get phenomenal deals. Bye.